Oh, good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, halfway through the week. I'm so excited. I call this molasses week. Seriously. Or we could say it is quicksand week. Why? Because it seems like I'm trudging through everything so slowly because I'm going on vacation Friday. And you know how it is when you're going on vacation. It's like Christmas Eve. Hurry up and come, hurry up and come, hurry up and come. Right. Especially with this pandemic. I didn't think I'd be able to go on a vacation. Well, we really can't go on the ones we really want to go on, like to the resorts and stuff with my husband, Brian. But we're doing the best we can. So he's headed off to Iowa with family. And I'm headed off to the Ozarks for a fishing trip with my Air Force buddy. So I'm excited about that this week. Next week, we'll be showing reruns all week long. So some of our best and brightest interviews will be featured all week next week. So don't think that just because I'm not here, the show won't be. It will be. And I wanted to say good morning to all of you beautiful people that are out there. Hi, Dorian Candy, Andrea, I see you. Brandy Drake, did the aliens finally return you? I wondered where you were. So good to see you. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. I'm excited about today's show for a lot of reasons. Not only is it because it's Wednesday and we're halfway through the week, but because this lady that's coming in today, all the way from the West Coast, is a Jill of a lot of trades. She's a dentist by profession, but she's going to tell us about this wonderful water thing going on that is changing the lives of people. Big way. My friend Michael Toy will not stop talking about this water. And I'm going to get my hands on some here soon, hopefully. So I'll be able to tell you firsthand about this living water. But Cecilia Vu is in the house today. Who? Cecilia Vu. Is it true? Who knew? Do you think she'll be wearing blue? I'm kidding. I couldn't help it. Her name rhymes with so many wonderful things. And oh, poo poo, poo poo, poo poo. Okay, I'm done. I promise. Where's the bell? There it is. What is this? This is the Bell of Purpose. It's new to season 4. And when you hear it ring like that, what's it mean? It's your chance to get involved in the show. Throw some hearts up on the screen, start a watch party, send a raven. Don't send a raven. But contact everybody you can. Start a watch party, share it out, and invite a friend to come and get some of the good news. And today, you're going to hear so many things that can enhance your life. It's just crazy good. Crazy good. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest, Cecilia Vu. If she were in England, she'd use the bathroom. Or is that the loo? See? Okay, did you know that? You didn't think I knew that the bathrooms in Europe are called loos? I did. Who is she? Cecilia Vu. She's Vietnamese and she's an immigrant. She escaped Vietnam. I need to highlight that part. That sounds exciting, but dangerous and scary. So we're going to talk about that. She escaped Vietnam with her oldest sister in April of 1975, just before the war ended. Whew, she was 11 years old. Oh, you're just going to tell us your age, huh? We'll wait till you see her. No worries. She looks like she's 15. She was 11 years old, and her sister was 25. She grew up pretty much partly in Virginia and then the rest in Northern California, attended Georgetown Dental Clinic. Impressive. And graduated in 1990. She practiced in Alexandria, Virginia for over a year before moving back to California in 1992. So her mother came to live with her from Vietnam, and she had terminal cancer, was given 2 years to live. Wow. She started her own dental practice right around 93. She has a couple children, a daughter and a son, Megan and Peter, 24 and 20, respectively. She is divorced. Hey, guys, she's single. And she raised her kids on her own since her son was 8 months old. Pretty impressive. And so anyway, I'll let her tell you the rest when she gets in here. Here's something interesting. She said, life is a struggle being a single parent. Although I'm a dentist, I had to work double time, triple time. Therefore, I did not have time or freedom, and I almost lost my life. I realized health is as priceless, as I began to get sick. Her mission, well, that's simple. Not really, but for her it is. Her goal is to help 200 single parents gain back their options to own their own businesses, to have financial freedom, and freedom just to have more time. So I know that she was cleaning some of my neighbor's teeth. They were lining up. She was giving out free dental exams this morning out front. So let me see if she's finished. Hold on. Hi, Dr. V.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You have on glasses, so I know you can see.
Yeah, well, it come with the age, but yeah,
Do,
wow.
do people call you Dr. V
They
or
call me
just Dr. Vu?
Dr. or Dr. CC.
Oh, Dr. Cece for Cecilia.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. You look like a television star.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You,
you.
how are you doing this bright and early morning? Thank you so much for getting up with the crack of dawn out there. It's just 6 o'clock in on the West Coast. So I really, truly, honestly, I'm being silly. I really appreciate you getting up so early to join us here on Bathrobe Moments. You look great.
Thank you. And I'm super excited to be here with you this morning. And thank you to, give me the opportunity to
Yes,
be here.
our mutual friend, we love him. We just love him to death. I talk about him all the time, Michael Toy. He
Yes.
just will not. We're going to get to the water thing, but I want to talk about you first and foremost. Tell us about this experience. What are your memories of Vietnam? You know, that's a big deal here. We hear about it. I was a little kid when it was happening, and there, of course, you learn about it in school, but to hear what it was like, what caught my attention is when you said you escaped. That sounds so daring. What did that look like? How did it have to get up in the middle of the night and crawl under fences? How'd you get out of there?
Well, I was the lucky one to exit a week or two before it's actually over on April 30th, the Vietnam War. And my dad was a colonel in the military. So he's still out there, fighting the battle to the
Wow.
last minute. But my mom find out a way to let us get out, and I was lucky to go by plane, and so escape meaning, you know, the government doesn't, the Vietnamese government doesn't know,
Yeah.
uh, so we are loaded in the U.S. cargo plane that going back empty. So luckily, my uncle he know about this cargo planes are leaving the U.S. cargo plane. So and the U.S. Wanting us to get on the plane and exit. They know is going to end. So I was in one of them, and honestly, it was not. I was not supposed to be on the plane.
Oh,
My older sister supposed to be exit with her husband,
oh,
but she was 3 or 4 months pregnant, and but three times they get to the airport in Ho Chi Minh City. Before that we call Saigon. I prefer Saigon,
okay, Saigon. Yeah.
and because during that time only children and women can exit the country. Men supposed to stay back, and especially he's a pilot for the Air Force, Vietnamese Air Force. So every time he went to the airport with my sister, they don't let
Right
him
away.
go, right. So my mom said, well, you better get going because my sister is pregnant, and my mom came from North Vietnam, and she already migrated before in 1954. She already
Okay.
ran away from the communists once, because communists started in the north of Vietnam. So she migrated to the south, and she had to walk and run. And so she said, you will not last, being pregnant. And she turned around and she said, well, you too, maybe you should take his place. And then and she goes, well, I see you in 2 weeks. Now, she already sent my aunt and uncles and other aunts and uncle and the whole family a few days previously, before that. So I know that, oh
Oh,
my
your mom was on it. Your mom was on top of things.
God, I know she's the
Quite the negotiator.
she's a
I see her now. Look, I got you 5 family members, and then after them, I want to send my cousin and Auntie Ruth, and she got everybody out of there.
Yes,
What about her?
out. She got everybody out, and
Did she leave?
she was waiting for my dad. Not only that, she's I know she was waiting
Oh,
for my dad, and so I have no problem leaving because first of all, my mom is very strict. She never let me have a sleepover even with my cousin. So my cousin already left like a few days before, and in my mind that time at 11 was like, okay, so they probably end up in some hotel in US, and so I got 2 weeks to hang out with my cousin, to get sleepover without my mom. Yes, I'm going. I sign up.
like which way out? Right. Okay.
Finally, I got to sleep over, right? So I said, sure, mom, I'm leaving. I go. Okay. And so we get on the plane. They just load us up as full as possible. So we're sitting on the floor, and we were like,
Packed in there. How many people were on that plane?
I was so young, I don't know.
Just a lot.
Yeah, we all sit on the floor to make as much space as possible. Only when we enter the airport and get on the plane, that's when we realize whoever got in got on. It's not like, okay, you have to we thought it's like, okay, we make a reservation, like go onto a regular plane.
You thought you were getting on a commercial plane. Yeah. No, there probably wasn't even a door. Was the door open?
Yeah, the cargo plane.
Yeah, wide open.
Right, yeah. So we walk up the slope. And and talking about my mom being prepared, so she prepared a little bag for me. Now, she packed all my nice clothes for my cousin because that left a few days before, right? So supposedly she's gonna make me new clothes. In Vietnam, in a few days they tailor-made clothes. Yeah. And so my leaving was an unexpected one. So but she did pack for me a bag, but it was one of my older sister clothes because I share with you. She gave all my clothes to my cousin. She wanted them to look decent in coming to US. Mm-hmm. So I got a bag. I carried my bag, and I went with my sister, and now she's 3 months pregnant. I don't know how long it is. I live in the city. I see it on the plane. I mean, on the TV, but I never actually hear, bombing or things like that. But in 1960,
you're saying in your regular life there at home, you didn't hear any of that?
No. Once in 1968, they came in to the city. The communists, they did came in.
Oh, okay. So you were in the city.
Yes, I'm in the city, and they did come in. But my mom, we have a pretty big home. We would call it a mansion.
I was gonna say, so you were rich.
Well,
okay, girl, you know what?
My parents are rich. I'm not me.
I'm saying, but back there in that life, okay.
Well, no, I just, and she's, okay. I'm very, very pampered. I'm very, like she never let me stand outside of the gate. So we have the gate, we have the yard, the front yard. Oh yeah, and then we have all this. I don't know what you call them, but
servants,
barbed wire on the top.
Oh, I thought you were talking about inside the house.
People cannot climb in, and so I would be always have a destination to leave the house. You would never find me hanging out in the front of the gate, or go to school, go to swimming, go ballet. So my lifestyle is pretty much similar over here. So we, so bottom line is that's the only time, and I didn't even know in 1968 they did come in. I hear gun, like that.
Yeah, like machine gun fire.
Yeah, but my mom did have a dungeon for us.
A dungeon?
Oh yeah, so we didn't know that it was in the kitchen. So she said, "Oh, everybody go down." Everybody, I know that woman.
Your mom was no joke. Man, your mom, she was something else.
So she prepared. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what was it like down in the dungeon?
Okay, well, we sit with the rice bags, and it's our culture that it's supposed to be represent abundance. That we always have extra, rice, large rice bags, and canned food, and so she prepared for the unfortunate.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Whew.
it was dark. It was cooler. But my sisters and brother were with me. I have two brother, older. I'm the youngest, so everybody older than me. Um, so I did hear because from the gate, and then there's a large front yard, and then there's another gate, metal gate, to enter the main house,
Wow.
and She locked it. So I did hear them, kind of banging on it, like open the door. And I
Oh.
was frightened. I was frightened. And my mom said, no matter what, you make no sound. You make no sound. Okay.
Mm.
You have to stay quiet. And then she turned off all the light as if like the house is empty, I think. And I think we stayed in there for the entire day, and we have water, we have food,
Yeah.
uh, and so I think I don't remember a day or 2 days, but finally it's all silent. Now this all happened when my dad is not even there. Okay, he's out there fighting, and actually he was the one, because there's a bridge. There are multiple ways to get into the city, but
Hmm.
one of the way is crossing this bridge, and he actually stopped them at that bridge. So they have to they lose that battle. So so now he's the most wanted person
Your
in.
dad?
Yeah, because he's the one that stopped them from entering from that route. Okay,
Wow.
so yeah, so he quite famous with them.
Yeah.
And
Infamous.
we
Right.
know afterward when they came in, and my dad, at the end of the war, he did come home, and the U.S. have this big ship to ship all this high Vietnamese, military official to
Yeah.
leave. They know what they're going to do to them. I mean, send them, kill them, or send them to concentration camp. But same thing, this lovebird of my parents. My mom wait for him. He coming home for her instead of hop
Oh.
on that big ship. So his thought was, okay, you know what? I've been fighting. I'm tired. I'm just gonna rest for a day or two. We exit because he'd been to U.S. He been trained. He was trained in U.S. I think it's in South Carolina or North Carolina. I forgot. And so no way he's gonna stay with them. But the next day they came, they got him because they had his name.
It
Uh,
came to the house?
they came to the house. They got him the next day. They
Were you
captured.
guys still in the dungeon?
Oh no, this is
This is
75.
the
75.
okay.
No
Okay, so
dungeon. Oh, sorry. So in the dungeon, my mom and my oldest brother left. Get off the dungeon first,
okay.
and said, "You stay right here. Nobody, you know." So my mom, I think my mom, she's very brave because she want to go make sure that her. I have an uncle live on the same street,
Hmm.
and I think she want to make sure my grandparents and everybody's okay. Um, and I remember it rained those days. It rained very hard those days. I forgot which month it is. I was too young,
Uh-huh.
and they probably keep it away from me.
Yes.
But she left for a few hours, and that's a scary moment for me. That's the when they get to the door, when they shouting and all that. I was scared, but not as scared as like not knowing, is my mom gonna come back? When
Right.
gonna come back? They coming out, and they kind of like discovering what's going on. But a few hours later, she came back. All my relatives are okay because they have the same system. They have that iron door, and so no one can get in. They probably have the dungeon as well. Um, but I did hear my mom said to someone. I just overheard the conversation, and because it rained so much, so the water is, and we have really horrible, lousy, sewage in Vietnam. So she said, it was flooded, the water,
Mm-hmm.
but everything was red because of flood, and
Oh,
there are people, a lot of people dying on the street. It's not, it's kind of, filthy and smelly,
yeah.
and so I know we stay in the house for a while. I don't know how long. We're not allowed to go out until everything clean. But I know,
Ooh.
a few days or a week later, we have fourth floor, and I stand, same thing in the city. We have the top floor, and we have all the plants and patio, like, rooftop rooftop. So I was
Okay.
standing on the rooftop, hanging out, and I see, military truck carrying a lot of coffins.
Hearing a
Uh,
lot of coffins.
yeah, passing by my house.
Ugh.
Uh, I think of, perhaps soldiers. I don't know, but that too. Then my mom pulled me back and say, "No, go downstairs. Don't look at it." And
Don't look at it.
yeah, so that was the closest I ever that experienced, war. The second time is, when the plane took off in 1975. Um, it became dark outside, and I think they're crossing the area where it, the biggest part of Vietnam that got hit the most with the war is the central of Vietnam. Probably we passed by that. I don't know, but I can hear the gunshot. Then I start hear the bombing, you know, and it got pretty loud. It got pretty scary. So I know my sister was holding me, and she said, don't cry. It's over soon. And the next thing I know, daytime again, look like I'm passing by a desert, red dirt. I start seeing, well, we get off, and apparently everybody that left Vietnam during that time, we
Hmm.
all go to Guam. I think there's an Air Force base there.
Yeah, in
And
Guam, yes.
yes, so we hop on the bus, and my thought is I'm going to a hotel to meet my cousin, right? Remember?
Which way to my suite? I just left my mansion, right?
And I
Hmm.
passed, I passed all this red dirt, and
Oh,
like
that's
it's
not funny.
all dried up, and I was like, and then I see people put up tent, and I was like, oh, who gonna live there? My God, it's so hot. Oh my, that's. I feel sorry for whoever gonna live there. So
Yeah.
guess what?
Whoever, huh?
It's me.
That was you. So you okay?
So yeah, so because just my sister and I, so we have a little tent, and then later on, they have a bigger tent where you can have like 20 people. I mean, we are the early group, so they still, setting up, and my sister is pregnant, you see, and so she's, with all that flight and the bus, so she throw up, and she, when we get there, and it's super hot in the tent too. Just imagine, we in like a desert. uh,
Yeah. We
and
are not in Kansas anymore as you look around. Yes, big difference.
yeah, warm, and then then this is April, so I plan to go back there, visit, soon. I
Just to
have
see it, sure.
there. So my
Right.
sister's thirsty. My sister, she feels sick. I'm thirsty, and she said, "Oh, can you go find me some water and some food?" She's throwing up a lot, and I said, "Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem." So I go, and for the age of 11, I think I'm short. I'm shorter than most people,
Okay.
and so as I walk, and I looking for store, and then I see this long line, a snake line, people waiting. So what are they waiting for? Well, that's the food line.
So you got to
So
stand there.
I walk all the way up, and then when I realized the food line, I said, "Oh shoot!" And I have to walk all the way back, right? And so I stand there, and people, around my age, they have their family with them. So I'm the only one standing there.
Oh, alone as a kid.
Yeah. And so they asked me, uh, where's your parents? And I remember my mom said, never talk to a stranger. And, I don't have interaction with stranger. Remember?
Right.
Either.
You're sequestered in the house. Right.
Yeah. I never, so I don't say anything. And I remember they said, oh, maybe she's deaf.
Oh, oh, you were playing your role to the hilt. Yeah. Hi. Where's your parents? Okay, go ahead. I'm
No,
kidding.
I'm not. But you know what? I'm not going to show. Okay, that's fine. You want to think
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
just leave me alone. I'm here right now.
Right.
So I don't know how long it's, and it's a pounding sun on me, right? And then I changed to my sister, and my mom just put a pajamas, and it's too long for me. So I have to roll them up, and I'm standing there. I took off my dress because I was sweating, and so it took a long while for me to get to the food.
Where the food was. Mm-hmm.
And they have the paper plate, right? And I'm short and I'm small, so I have to hold with both hands, right? I can't do like this, right? Now I can, but at that
Right.
time,
Then, yeah, sure.
I hold the water too. So I can only get for my sister. So I walk all the way back to give it to my sister. Then I get in line again.
For you.
Yeah. And then we stayed there, I think, for a month.
Wow.
After that, we ran into my sister in-law. They left a few weeks before, but I end up there too. Um, and and then they moved us to Arkansas, Fort Chaffee.
Okay.
I stayed there for a few months, I think. It was beautiful there, and I got to make some friend there. And I run into my aunt, the one that left a few days before. Now
Yeah.
those person that I really want to hang out. So I got to hang out, and that's when I heard, at Warm. I think we after 2 weeks. There's a place where the newcomer coming.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I go there and I wait for my mom and dad and the rest of my family.
They don't
And
come.
finally the news came and they said, that's it. It's over. The war's over. The communists took over. Nobody going to come anymore. So don't come and wait. I said, what? No, no. And so that night I said, oh, this can't happen. And I didn't see my cousin and I didn't have at the hotel. I'm sleeping in a tent. It's hot. And now my parents not coming. No, I can't do this. So I packed my bag and
Excuse me. Could you drive me back to my mansion, please? I don't want to be here.
oh,
Is that
that's
what? Yeah.
that's what I did. So I went back. I told my sister, I said, I'm going home. I'm going to check out everything. I'll be back. Okay. You look for Auntie. Okay. So I left. I go and then so I get to the gate. I did. I mean, I'm very observing. So those days I'm like, okay, that's the gate. Da, da, da. I did that night. Oh, this is funny. I still remember. I said, wow, maybe I have to swim a few ocean and maybe I have to climb a few mountains. I think I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know how to swim
Wow.
7.
So you were totally prepared to swim a couple oceans, climb a few
Prepared.
mountains to get back to your parents in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. It's
Wow.
okay. I'm going to be, I'm just going to be careful. So we get to the gate. I already see my sister and and the military officer, and they said, "Oh, you just can't go because there's mountain, there, ocean." I said, "Oh no, I already prepared for that. I know. I can do it. I can do it." And they said, "No, you can't leave because it's dangerous." I cry and cry. I said, "No, I can. Yes, I can." But of course, they don't let me. So I cried for a few days, and I was mad at my sister, and I feel like she betrayed me, right? I said, and I was like, oh, maybe I should not tell my sister. Then my journey would be successful, right? And it took about so we went to Arkansas, and we have to find sponsor so we
Wow.
can exit.
We're going to stop
So-
right there for a second. And when we come back, because I want to talk about that, about the sponsors, I want to talk about, I wonder if you ran into any Vietnamese people, because, they took them and put them in internment camps here as well. And I want us to talk about that a little bit. And the rest of the story is just gripping. It really is. I should have a big bowl of Orville Redenbacher popcorn while you're talking, because it's that good. It's that good. Listen, everybody, we are here talking to Dr. Cecilia Vu, and since the top of the hour, we've been talking about her escape from Vietnam back in 1975. When we come back, we're going to take it from 75 forward and find out the rest of this exciting story. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Baby, where are you going? Why don't you stay by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands, yeah. Baby, where are you going? Why don't you stay by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands, yeah. Baby, where are you going? Why don't you stand by me now? Wait a moment while I clean my hands up. I've been moving all around the world, looking for something that's behind your door. You were lying on your bedroom floor. I was on my way. I'm coming
Well, hello, welcome back, everybody. I'm Loren Michaels Harris, and you're inside of Wednesday's edition of Bathrobe Moments, where my guest today is Dr. Cecilia Vu. I want to say thank you to my sponsors for this month, Nikki's of Naperville, and also the Emperor's Medicine, Functional Medicine, and Acupuncture. So, Dr. Vu.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we were talking about you're now at the camp. You're at the fort in Arkansas. What is it?
Fort Chaffee.
Fort Chaffee. Okay, and your mom is still. Let's move forward. I want to talk about now your dad. You said they came and took him.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
So, that's the reason why my mom stayed behind, because she doesn't know where he is for 6 months.
Mm.
And I think it must be very scary for my mom. Yeah, and there's still 4 of my brother and sister still stuck behind with my mom, right? So there's 10 of us in the family. I know, we count.
Wow.
So
Okay.
only, actually 6 of us still left behind. Only 4 of us. So my oldest sister and I left, right? And she's 25.
Okay.
My second sister, Mary, she worked for American Express, and American Express said, "Hey, we let you leave with us. That they know the country is going to go down." So her husband, she's married too. She had 2 kids. Her husband didn't want to go, so she took my 5th sister. So only 4 of us exit before the war was over. She said the same thing. She went the exact same route. And when she entered, she said, "Oh, I wish all my family, got to come, because when you go in there, they don't care how many people But we're very, I think my mom taught us, we're very structured. We follow the rules. So
Yeah.
when American Express said, okay, it's just you and your husband and your family, and that's it. And she was already happy that she can get my other sister to come along to help her with the two young kids because they were like a year old and
Mm.
years old. Same with my oldest sister. So my oldest sister, oh, and she took my oldest sister, older daughter too, at the age of 1. And then she's pregnant, the second one.
Right.
So, um, so two of my sister, they very, very, we were raised in a French influence. We go to French school, we speak French, we go to French
Oh,
country club. Uh,
French Country Club.
yeah, we have a French.
Oh, well, excuse me. Okay.
We have tennis, we
Wow.
have swimming, we have fencing, we have ballet, we have,
Fencing.
yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. See, I
Tell
love this. I would have never known. We never get to hear about all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't speak English. I speak French. And as soon as, and we go to the nun
Oh
school.
my God, I speak French too.
There you go.
Croissant.
Really?
Bouquet.
Yeah. Bon.
Cafe.
Okay.
And that's it. That's the
Parfait.
extent. That's all. That's all the French I know.
Well, and so,
Oui, oui. There. That's really now all the French I know, for
no,
real.
you speak French. You do. Your French is good. I like that.
Yeah.
Accent. It's lovely. So, so anyway, so two of my sister trying to get out. The third and the fourth sister, they're very French, and so one of them was sitting in front of the embassy, Switzerland, crying, and that's when she met her husband, and he said,
Sitting there crying.
"Yeah, yeah."
He came along.
He came along. He's an architect, and he said,
Oh, how beautiful.
"Why are you crying?" And so she got to go to Switzerland. They got married in Vietnam, and then she ended up in Switzerland a year later. And then another sister, the third sister, married someone, but it's a fake marriage. So she also ended up in Switzerland. So I have two sisters in Switzerland right now. And then my sister married the second one because at that time, American Express said, you want to go to England or you want to go to US? Now at that time,
Mm.
a lot of us, we're more French, friendly, and we have home in France. So she said, oh, England is closer to France.
Who had a home in France?
All of us. Oh, my mom, my dad.
A separate home.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Marseille. I think it's Marseille. Marseille.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people went to England.
Oh, well, they American Express give her a choice between going to England or going to US. And she thought, we're going to end up living in France. So if she worked in England, it's closer than US.
Sure.
But we end up in US. We don't know. We didn't know the plan. We just know we in Guam. She did came to Guam as well. But then American Express took her and took her directly to England.
So when you the 6 months that your dad was missing, when he showed back up, did they just let him go? Your mom, your mom, she probably went in and rescued him.
So my father family stayed behind in North Vietnam, and that's why my cousin told us when they came into Saigon after the war ended, and they said, "Oh, uncle," which is my dad, they want him. They want him. He's because he's the one that stopped them to win that war in 1968. I mean, they could have just took over the city in 1968, but because my dad stopped him at that bridge, I forgot which bridge it is.
Wow.
So they know they out to get him, and actually the family that his family, my grandparents, and were they make them pay badly out there because of what he did. what
What do
my
you
dad.
mean? What do you mean? They made them pay badly.
So like they took away their home.
Okay.
They put them in camp. They don't let my cousin go to school. Uh, and so my family, my dad family, have to. They lost everything. And my dad come from pretty, okay, well-to-do family. They own a
Hmm.
lot of land, and so they took away.
Look at all.
Yeah, and you should listen to my mom and dad love story too, because they both live in two different. I mean, even though they're in Hanoi, but they're in different. I don't know, district, and apparently his district and her district is where the communists and non-communists, separated. Right.
Mm.
He's coming over and visit her. One day he's missing. He didn't come for a month. So later on, so what happened is they capture him, the communists, and they jail him for a month.
Ooh.
They think he's an espionage
Spy.
spy. No, he's not. So and because he also went to French school, so they said, oh, he's must be a spy. So what happened?
Yeah.
He.
Hmm.
So then after a month, they said, okay. So they lined them up. They line all the people they capture, they think is a spy. They say, okay, they're going to play the Russian roulette game. And if you tell the truth, you will live. If you lying, you die.
Ooh.
So they do, one bullet.
Oh, yes.
My dad survived.
Somebody didn't. Did anybody die there?
Well, my dad didn't say.
Oh, he kept it from me.
Back from my sister and
Oh,
my uncle, right? Because
yeah.
I was born. I was a lot of things I didn't hear. I didn't experience because I'm the youngest. But he survived. He went to her house right away and he said, "Look, I can't keep doing this. Okay, the next time I don't think I'm going to survive. So we need to get married." And now he's Buddhist. My mom is Catholic. You know,
Wow.
so he accepted to become Catholic. He converted, and they got married. And then right after that, they migrate. And my mom family migrate with them, but his parent decide to stay. And so yeah, that's my mom and dad story.
Let's talk about your mom. Now, she came over to the United States and you said she had cancer.
Yes, so my dad.
Okay, yeah, let's tell us what it looked like over here when she came. What kind of life had you already built that she walked in?
So my dad, they found her and they put him in the famous Hilton. That's where they jailed.
Hanoi Hilton?
Yes. So that is like a death row. So he would never get out. And he told me, well, not me, but he told the family that when he got there, every day is just push them out into the wood. You find whatever you can to eat. They don't feed them. Yeah, and they do a lot of mental torturing.
So they send them out there. Okay, go eat. Good luck.
Huh?
They just send them outside into the woods. Go eat your dinner. Lunchtime. Good luck.
Yeah, dinner's out there. Yeah, go ahead. Plenty. Yes.
Okay.
And so she found him, and then 15 years later, she got a notice to come see one of the communists, officer, and she was scared. Okay, what my husband do now? So those 15 years, she smuggled food and medication for him. A few times she got caught and then they jail her. Okay, and so apparently this guy was one of the suitor that want to marry her before.
Oh.
And now he ran across my dad's name and he want to know how she's doing. So she married my dad instead and him. So that's when she said, "Hey, can you help me?" He said, "Oh, I can't because your husband is in a, like a death
camp.
You cannot exit." He said, "But if you're willing to wait for 6 months, I can transfer him to a less severe facility, then he can exit." She laughed. She said, "Oh, he probably just BSing me, He just didn't have a heart to say no." but he did. So end up my dad did come home.
Wow.
And so then you
Oof.
know, they did came to Switzerland to visit. For 6 months they did come to U.S. and I was in dental school in 1989. I begged them to stay, but they said no, no, no. I don't want to live here illegally. We don't do illegal things. Let me go home first, because at that time that's when the U.S. start this new program where they allow a concentration prisoner to come to U.S. It's called HO program, and he
Okay.
was supposed to be in one of the earlier group that come to U.S. And he want to go that way, so he left around March of 1990. That's I graduated dental school June of 1990, but apparently he passed away in July, heart attack in Vietnam. Then 3 months later, my mom diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and so my sister able to get her to Switzerland because easier at that time, and so she got treatment there. And so in 1991, at the end of the year, 1991, she make it to U.S. Okay, but they give her 2 years. Even they did the surgery and everything.
Right.
And that's why I moved back to California, because there are 5 of us in California. There's only one of me in Virginia, and so that's why I moved back in 1992.
Cecilia, let me ask you something. How does it feel now for you with your children doing so well? Um, one graduated, one going to graduate, and you see the lifestyle that they are able to live now and the freedoms that they're afforded. Um, you know, do you tell me about that feeling when you look at all that your parents went through to keep you all safe and alive, and just how strong they truly, truly were. I'm sitting here for almost an hour now, simply riveted by this story. And it's what I always find amazing is when we think, you never. What is the saying? Until you've walked a mile in someone else's shoes. Um, it's just incredible. It is proof to me that we are all given exactly enough that we can deal with. Because I'm looking at what you're doing, I'm going, I couldn't have done it, and you probably would say that about my journey. Right, right. But
Uh,
how does it?
I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead. I was going to say, but how does it make you feel now when you look at your life and you look at your children and you pay homage and respect? Do you ever think, boy, I wish my mom and dad could see this now?
It was a struggle. In 2 years, I didn't know what happened to my family. Living in at first the sponsor took us to Philadelphia, and after that we moved to Virginia, and I cry every night. I'm wondering what happened to my mom and dad.
Mm.
But through through time, I know this. I know this. My sister, my oldest sister, mother-in-law, she passed now, and she's one of those influential women too. They kind of like a billionaire in Vietnam.
Oh,
We
okay.
marry each other, you see.
I would settle for kind of like a billionaire.
But anyway, when I have to go water the plant. I do a lot of things, and she said this to me, and I tell my children the same now. She said, "You might be mad at me now, making you do a lot of things and work hard, but you're gonna appreciate me one day. You're gonna thank me." And so, uh, I, life is hard. I mean, it's a big change, life changing overnight for me. It was hard, uh, but it's always been. I feel that everything that happened to me in the past, the people I crossed path with, God, put them there to mold me to who I am today.
Mm.
You know, and it's always been, I mean, I have tremendous fear when something new come up, but fear is here, right?
Good point.
And I deal with it. You know, I find every which way. So I know I people say, oh, how can you be so strong? Well, it wasn't like okay from point A and then it went directly to Z. So slowly it molded me, you know, and so and then you see too that my mom is very courageous, woman. You know, most Vietnamese women have to be courageous, have to be the head of the household, uh,
Uh-huh.
because you know a lot of the Vietnamese men have to go to war and they die. They don't
Mm,
train the soldier like the way we train, you know, our soldier in U.S. No,
mhm,
and maybe a month, and then they let them go out to you know the
mhm.
front line, and
Right.
a lot of young soldier die, right? You know, the rich one got to you know go to U.S. or France, but majority they're not rich, and that's and if they don't pass the high school or the college test to enter college, they have to go to the military, no choice. So,
Mm.
to answer your questions, you know, I'm still grateful. I'm still grateful that I have the opportunity to come to US. You know, uh, there's no way I ever, you know, want to be in Vietnam. But I have to go there now to visit my mom. Well, she went back home because she want to be in her
How's
house.
she doing? How's your mom doing with her
Oh,
cancer?
she survived the 2 years.
She did. That does not surprise me about her.
So yeah, I got married because she want me to get married. She said, "Oh, you know, well, last time I left her, I was 11, and the next time I saw her, I was 28."
Wow.
So she's like,
When you left Vietnam, you were 11 and you didn't see your mom again until you were 28?
"Absolutely,
Wow. Wow.
yeah." So, oh, you have a cute cat. You
Yeah,
know,
two up sisters.
oh
Or
my,
Branson, they're TV stars.
and you know, bottom line is, you know, she doesn't speak English,
Okay.
and she's you really see that she's very active person. And you know we work a lot, she doesn't drive, so after 7 years and she feel that she's you know escaped you know cancer, and so she came home and lived in the same house that you know I was born, that same house with the dungeon.
She's
We
still in that house?
yes, I know a lot of time with all those big cows they come in, they take it from you, but she came up with a plan. She told them, she said, "Hey, and then you know, one bird hitting one stone hit two birds." So she
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I can gather all the neighbor ladies, and I'm going to show them how to knit." And so she makes sweater, jacket, socks. At that time, the Vietnamese are very friendly with the Russian. So she said, "If you let me keep the house, all I can ask is rice, and you can sell all this to make money." So they let her keep the house. At the same token, she saved all the ladies because that time they sent people to they call it you know um, dead territory. Like they send them to all this you know very poison water. They
Mm-hmm.
will clean all the sewage, and you know people would die from being poisoned or
Yes. Oh,
so that she saved the neighbor woman, and then also she said, "Okay, look, you have to find." So if they have a son, she helped them to escape. So I said, she said, "This is not going to last a long time. You're going to need somebody in outside of U.S. to support you, or you're going to die. So nominate one male person per family, and you know she lend them the gold to escape by boat. And when they make it to U.S., they can pay us. Some pay, some don't, but she always have a good heart. She want to help, right?
wow.
And I
This,
guess we
mm,
have the gold. So you know, so she helped people, and that I'm very proud of my mom. You know, she's a very business minded, but she has a good heart,
yes.
and that is all about for me. You know, whatever I do is with the heart. You know,